I was an investment banker in New York City. I started in late 70s and then throughout the 90s, really. And I have moved to set up my own firm in 1989 in San Francisco, but continue to work in and around the New York City area. So that was my location. And the work was centered around various things, but primarily toward the end of my career was the mergers and acquisitions advisory, advising corporations to divest, and just finding buyers, negotiating the prices, or coming up with a purchasing proposal of some certain corporate assets. So that's what I was doing. Of course, the competition was fierce. You have to achieve certain goals that we set. Please customers, clients, and then with a result, make a presentation to sell things that the firm wants me to sell, and so on and so forth. So that's really the achievement-oriented life, and that's like the career of anybody's, but particularly it was a fierce one. It's like a hamster wheel. You're trying to get to somewhere every, say, 3 months, because you have to produce some newsworthy transactions or news, so that the client's company will be attracting the public attention constantly, and so that's what we pay to do. So it's really like on a wheel that you continue to produce something for the sake of public attention. And in reality, sometimes things won't happen every 2 months. We have to manufacture it. And so once you start getting into this manufacturing mode, things get a little too not true. And so that is when you start feeling you're kind of removed from the reality. But you kind of have to stay in that place, because that is what I was told is the real reality that I have to live in. It became more apparent when my career went on to a little bit more of a senior level, or maybe the economy reached a certain point where we start doing something for the sake of transaction, as opposed to necessary financial transactions. And by that I mean those takeover fiasco era, whereby people are purchasing companies left and right, not necessarily for the good reasons, but it was good enough for newsworthiness. And so that is what I meant earlier by manufacturing the news. It's unnecessary transactions, but we get paid, and company attracts more attention from the public, and therefore seem to work for both sides. But in the reality, that's frustrated me toward the end was that is it really necessary, or is it really good for the public, or even for the employees? And those are the questions I start asking myself as I climb up the ladder in the bank. What really the function of the investment bank? What's my value to the society? And then for those questions, I'm afraid my answers start coming to be rather less than attractive. And that was when I started feeling some frustration, and I learned to shrug it off, and then kept on going. But those are the questions just kept coming up, and then that was when I start realizing, am I really doing a good for society? I start asking those questions about that. So for about 15 years, I sort of struggled, yet didn't do much of anything to change my life. Not until I came down with a series of illnesses. In particular, in 2005, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And that was, to me, the life-saving. It's a funny way to say it, but I really feel that without that diagnosis, I probably would have been dead by now.